Question 1. Why is username Noom26? In other words, what is the story behind it? If there is a story. There is! Let me just get this out of the way first. Contrary to popular belief, my screen name has nothing to do with the Numa guy. It's a bit more personal and a bit more complicated than that. Just a disclaimer, the story behind my screen name is very long, which is why the Q&A explaining it is in a separate video altogether. So if you don't care about how I came up with my screen name, click the back button because that's what this video is going to be about. If you are interested, you're welcome to stay. This is how the story starts. Okay, I had a very hard time in middle school. 6th grade and 7th grade in particular were not the best years of my life. I don't want to tell the stories because the stories about those years do not have, like, a happy ending. The point is I had to go to a different school for 8th grade. Like, I wasn't allowed to go back to the school where I had 6th grade and 7th grade. Okay, I'm not going to tell you guys what happened, because if you guys knew what happened, a lot of you will see me as, like, a criminal or something. I don't want that, okay? I'm not like that anymore. Everything's fixed. So, the point is, I had to go to a new school for 8th grade, and, the interesting thing about this new school was you could learn a foreign language, and, the choices were Spanish and Japanese. I chose Japanese. No, I did not choose Japanese because I was obsessed with anime. I didn't really like anime back then. The only ones I enjoyed were Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, but overall I really preferred Western cartoons, alright? I loved the Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Laboratory, The Angry Beavers, and Rocko's Modern Life. I'm sorry, okay? I like cartoons that move faster than 2 frames per second. So no, the fact that I chose Japanese had nothing to do with anime. I chose Japanese because I wanted to learn calligraphy. You guys all know that I have a really hard time writing various letters down in English, so I was excited to learn Japanese because in Japanese you don't get to write letters. They don't have letters in Japanese. They have pictures. I want to learn to draw pictures. Yay! I was fucking wrong. Writing in Japanese is 10 billion times more complicated than writing in English. For starters, there are 60,000 symbols in Japanese, and half of them look exactly like each other. For example, you see this symbol? You see this symbol? Those are 2 different symbols. Fortunately, they do have a more phonetic way of writing things, except it's not linear. It's not like A, B, C, D all on one straight line. Their alphabet is like on a grid. And the letters they use do not represent a vowel or a consonant or anything like that. Each letter is a syllable. So you've got, like, a, I, U, E, O, ka, ki, ku, ke, ko, ma, mi, mu, me, mo. So if you want to write Haruhi, you quite literally write Haruhi. If you want to write Naruto, you write Naruto. If you want to write sushi, you write sushi. So this is a very, very basic idea of how you write things down in Japanese. Now, I had a lot of trouble with a bunch of these letters, but 2 letters in particular. Those letters were Nu and Mei. I didn't have trouble with them because they look similar. Nu obviously has a curly tail. My problem was that I didn't know where to start. Alright, they both looked really complicated, and I couldn't memorize how to write these down without looking at an example. My teacher noticed that I liked to draw, so she said, you know, why don't you make up a character to help you memorize these letters? So I created Nume. Ugh, yeah, that's kind of the thing. You guys have been pronouncing my screen name wrong for the past 2 years. It wasn't originally supposed to be pronounced Noom, it was pronounced Nume. Fortunately for you guys, I am not a big weeaboo fan brat, and I have no problem with you guys calling me Noom. I really don't care. Whatever you guys feel comfortable with is fine with me. Just know that originally it was supposed to be pronounced Nume. Anyway, back to the story. Nume was a fox because all my friends drew foxes and I wanted to be included. Nume has New and May written on her chest, so the more I drew this character, the better I got at writing these letters. And as you can see, Nume has no limbs. She lost them in a terrible chainsaw accident, but the real reason she doesn't have any limbs is because I didn't know how to draw them. I created Nume in October of 2003. I started going online religiously in 2004, and as a result, Nume has been my screen name for a very, very long time. I did come up with a backstory for her, and the gist of her backstory is Nume lives in a post-apocalyptic world run by hemomorphs, and hemomorphs are a species I created. They're like a cross between vampires, shapeshifters, and Nazis. Now, Nume forms a small resistance against the hemomorphs, and this resistance is called Tarantula, and she tries to bring peace to the world she lives in. Now, this is kind of the thing with Nume. This is why I don't really talk about her a lot. By the time 2006 rolls by, I realized that my friends, the friends who all like to draw foxes, they like to go to conventions with other people who drew foxes. Then by 2007, I realized that my friends liked to make clothes that made them look like foxes. And by 2008, I realized that my friends liked to do things in these fox costumes. And then I was just like, oh, fuck! What the hell did I just get myself into? So I made Nume humanoid, and that was the end of that. Like I said, there were a number of other letters that I had trouble writing. Ne, re, and wa, for example, were not very kind to me, and I think that the letter U is the manifestation of Lucifer himself. However, I chose Nu and May for a reason. If you look at Nu, it's all tangled up. I think it looks troubled, as if it's not in very good shape. This is me in 6th and 7th grade. Then you look at May, and May looks a lot cleaner. It doesn't have an ugly knot. All its problems are fixed, and it's ready to start over. So I chose New May because that's what I am. I'm trying to make the transition from being a New to being a May. Wow, that's like some psychological shit. Unfortunately, I usually have to put a number after the name Noom, because Noom means name in Romanian, so the screen name Noom itself is usually taken by some smart-ass Romanian kid. My favorite number is 26. If you want to know why I like the number 26, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to make a whole nother video. No, I'm kidding. 26 is the number which I identify the most with. I guess it really started with elementary school. In my elementary school, all the classes had 30 kids, and each kid was issued a number, 1 through 30, and it was like your special file number. I don't know if other schools do this, but it became sort of like a ritual for us. On the first day of school, the students would all line up alphabetically by first name, and the teacher would go down the line and give you your number. The first kid would be 1, second kid would be 2, and since my name started with an R, I was towards the end of the line, and for 3 years in a row, I was number 26. In my first 2 years of middle school, they did the same thing, except this time, every class had 40 kids, and they alphabetized you by last name. My last name started with a J, so I was closer to the center, and once again, I was number 26 for both of those years, so that's why I like 26 so much. Yeah, I pretty much covered everything. Video over.